this video I will help you create an ideal workout plan that targets all major muscle groups and includes an effective training frequency for perfect results. To have a fully comprehensive workout, you need to include 5 main muscle groups, which are legs and hips, back and biceps, chest and triceps, shoulders, and core muscles, especially the rectus abdominis. By changing and combining these muscle groups with an appropriate training frequency, you can ensure a balanced development, prevent overtraining of certain muscles, and allow proper recovery for optimal results. How often should you train a muscle group? Once a week, twice, the more the better? We can guess all day, but let's break down what science says. In 2016, effects of resistance training frequency on measures of muscle hypertrophy was evaluated in a study published in the journal Sports Medicine. The study concluded that training each major muscle group twice a week promotes greater muscle growth than once a week, while whether training 3 times is more effective remains unclear. Training all main muscle groups at least twice per week is nearly impossible, unless you go to the gym every day or combine multiple muscle groups in a single workout. You must almost live in the gym. Alternatively, you could focus on certain muscles and skip the rest, but that's not a good strategy, because all muscles need to be trained proportionally and systematically. In 2018, 2 years later, another scientific study was conducted using a more complex and comprehensive approach that included data from 25 studies. It was published in the Journal of Sports Sciences, and the aim of the study was to answer the question: how many times per week should a muscle be trained to maximize muscle hypertrophy? The study concluded that there is strong evidence that resistance training frequency doesn't significantly or meaningfully impact muscle hypertrophy when volume is equated. Thus, for a given training volume, individuals can choose a weekly frequency per muscle groups based on personal preference. Therefore, according to this last comprehensive study, it's enough to train main muscle groups once per week, as long as the training volume is sufficient. How does weekly training frequency affect strength gain? The answer to this question is provided in a study published in Springer Open. The study showed that when training volume is equal, weekly frequency has no significant effect on strength gains, so training once a week is effective. So if you train one muscle group at least once per week, it's okay. You can also train it twice per week, but that may be challenging, since combining workouts for all major muscle groups can make the overall frequency too intense. The optimal number of reps and appropriate load for muscle strength, hypertrophy and endurance were explained in a scientific investigation conducted by MDPI, a low repetition scheme with heavy loads from 1 to 5 repetitions per set with 80% to 100% of 1 repetition maximum optimizes strength increases. A moderate repetition scheme with moderate loads from 8 to 12 repetitions per set with 60% to 80% of 1 repetition maximum optimizes hypertrophy gains. A high repetition scheme with light loads, 15 plus repetitions per set with loads below 60% of 1 RM optimizes muscular endurance improvements. According to the research, the mid-range of the repetition continuum from 8 to 12 repetitions loading scheme is ideal for building muscle. So the best number of reps for muscle growth is from 8 to 12 repetitions per set. Of course, it doesn't mean that you can just stop doing the exercise at those numbers. You need to use a load between 60% to 80% of your 1 repetition maximum. In simple terms, this means selecting a weight in such a way that after completing the last rep, you should only be able to perform 1 more rep at most, or none at all. To stay within the optimal range of 8 to 12 repetitions for muscle growth, you need to progressively add weight to your exercises or use your body weight in a more challenging way. If you prefer using barbells, dumbbells and workout machines at the gym, you can simply add weight plates or increase the machine resistance progressively, or use heavier dumbbells. If you like to use your own body weight like I do for your workouts, there are many different ways to regulate the load. For example, if you need to increase the load, you can adjust the position position of your body. For instance, for shoulder training, you can do push-ups with your feet on the ground and your body bent. To increase the load, you can progress to straight handstand push-ups. When you are training your core, especially the abdominal muscles, using an ab roller, you can do it from your knees. To increase the load, you can perform the movement from your feet. And there are many other variations of different exercises as well. It's always possible to use your own body to increase the load and stay within the proper range for optimal muscle hypertrophy. To make your workout plan as effective as possible, be sure to include all main muscle groups, alternate different workouts, and maintain the balanced training frequency. Based on the studies mentioned, it's enough to train each muscle groups once per week, and considering that all main muscle groups need to be trained systematically, your optimal workout plan should look like this. This plan will help you develop the main muscle groups: back and biceps, shoulders and core, legs and hips, and pectorals and triceps. I recommend you keep this order, because in this case you have a bigger gap between workout days when the same muscles are involved. What I mean is that on the day you work on your shoulders, your triceps are also partly involved, and the upper pectorals are activated slightly as well. Similarly, during a pectoral and triceps workout, your shoulders, especially the front part, are also involved. During back workouts, your hips and legs are also partly activated. That's why it's better to separate these workouts from others, to allow enough time for muscle recovery and to maintain proportional gaps between sessions that target the same muscles. I hope this video was informative and gave you useful prompts to create your own workout plan or improve your current one. Let me know what do you think in the comments, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Many new interesting and helpful videos are coming soon.